Why do we feel so lonely? In a crowded subway car, on the couch next to someone we love, waking up in a cold bed in the middle of the night. Why does loneliness weigh on us like a heavy burden, gnawing at our shoulders, penetrating deep into our veins, cutting our ears with a ringing silence in the middle of a noisy street? Why does it hurt so much to be lonely? Why do we try to escape loneliness by all means? Drinking the 6th cup of coffee at 10 a.m., watching the 4th season of a TV series in a row, scrolling through Instagram until we are dizzy, or sending messages to those who don't need us. Is there a single universal way to overcome loneliness? Do we even need to overcome it? Maybe loneliness isn't always an enemy. Maybe it's something else, a messenger we've been trying not to hear. Loneliness doesn't look the same for everyone. It can feel like an emptiness in your chest or a dull ache in your stomach. It can feel like restlessness, like you want to go somewhere or do something, but you don't know what. Sometimes it feels like numbness. You wake up, go through the motions, smile when you have to, and inside, you feel like you are disappearing. Other times, it feels like humiliation, like you are unworthy of being chosen, noticed, loved. And sometimes, it's simply a heavy silence, the absence of warmth where you thought it would be. Have you ever felt that way? Maybe you are surrounded by people and still like you are on a desert island. Or maybe you are genuinely alone, without a partner, without family nearby, and the weight of it is so much heavier than you ever imagined. No matter how it shows up for you, loneliness has a way of convincing us that we are somehow different, defective, excluded. But you are not defective. You're a human being, and loneliness is a part of being alive. Where does this feeling come from? Is it childhood memories of being left out or rejected? Maybe it started the day you stood at the classroom door, clutching your backpack, while the other kids paired off into groups without even looking at you. Maybe it was you crying so loud, hoping your parents would come and soothe you and tell you they loved you, but nobody came, no matter how hard you cried. Maybe it was the birthday you spent alone in your room because there was no one to invite, pretending you didn't care while a single balloon sagged in the corner. Or the nights you lay in bed, listening to the muffled sound of adults talking in another room, voices low and serious, feeling certain that you are the problem but too afraid to ask. Is it the fear that no one will ever understand the real you? Is it the disappointment when someone you trusted let you down again and again until you stopped expecting anything at all? Sometimes, loneliness is simply circumstantial. You've moved to a new place, you've lost a relationship, you've outgrown old friendships. Other times, it's existential. It's the realization that no matter how much you love someone, no matter how close you get, there will always be a part of you that is yours alone. And that is not a failure, that is just reality. Some philosophers have called this existential loneliness, the quiet knowledge that no other person will ever fully know the world as you do, or carry your memories, or feel your feelings exactly the same way. It's a sobering thought, but it can also be freeing, because if no one can ever fully complete you, you can stop searching for someone to fill every emptiness. You can start looking at yourself with more acceptance, more curiosity. Think about the ways you try to escape loneliness. Maybe you fill every moment with noise, podcasts, videos, music, so you don't have to hear your own thoughts. Maybe you keep busy with work, telling yourself you don't have time to feel lonely. Maybe you look for validation from strangers online, a like, a comment, a heart emoji, small evidence that you exist. Or maybe you numb out completely. You scroll until your eyes burn. You eat when you're not hungry. You drink too much. You pretend you don't care. But somewhere beneath the distraction, that ache remains. Because loneliness is not always about lack of company. It's about lack of connection. First with ourselves, then with others. Sometimes it looks like checking your phone every 5 minutes, hoping someone thought of you. Sometimes it's buying things you don't need, just to feel a rush of something, anything. Or dating people you don't even like because it feels better than sitting alone in the quiet. And in those moments, maybe there is a little voice in your mind whispering, if I can just stay busy enough, I won't have to feel this. If I can just keep moving, no one will see how empty I feel inside. But no matter how many hours you feel, no matter how many screens you stare into, the feeling always returns. It comes back when you turn out the lights. It comes back in the pause between distractions. It comes back in the middle of a crowded room when you suddenly realize how alone you still feel. And maybe you tell yourself that everyone else has it figured out, that other people don't feel this hollow place. But the truth is, so many of us are doing the same thing, pretending, performing, distracting ourselves, trying to outrun the simple human longing to be seen and accepted exactly as we are. And sometimes we get so used to running away that we forget what we are even running from. We forget that loneliness is part of us and it will wait patiently behind every distraction, every attempt to numb or hide. What would happen if, instead of running, you simply stayed with the feeling? Imagine sitting in a quiet room, alone. No phone, no TV, no music. Just you and the sensation of loneliness. At first, it might feel unbearable. Like a cold wind blowing through your chest. Like a pressure behind your eyes. A tightness in your throat. The restless need to get up and do something, anything, to make it stop. Maybe your mind starts throwing out all the usual distractions. Check your messages, make a snack, turn on a show, call someone, anyone. It takes courage to ignore those impulses, to stay right where you are and simply feel, to let the loneliness show you its edges, its shape, its weight. You might notice memories rising up, times you felt invisible, unloved, unimportant. You might hear old beliefs whispering, you've achieved nothing, nobody wants you, nobody needs you. If you died tomorrow, who would even notice? And still you sit, still you breathe, still you stay. Little by little you realize something. The feeling itself cannot destroy you. You can survive this moment. You can watch the waves of sadness come and go without drowning. You can feel the ache in your chest without collapsing. When you stop fighting loneliness, it loses some of its power over you. It becomes less like an enemy and more like a part of yourself that's been trying to get your attention. A part that just wants you to listen. When you practice staying with your loneliness, you start to see it more clearly. Not as proof that you are broken, but as evidence that you long for connection, that you care, that you're alive. It's in these quiet moments when you choose to sit with what is uncomfortable that something begins to heal. Maybe not all at once, but slowly, gently, in ways you can't yet see. So, maybe loneliness isn't your enemy, but your teacher. What if, instead of something to escape, it's something asking to be heard? What if loneliness is gently, no, urgently, pulling you toward the part of your life you've been too busy, too afraid, or too exhausted to tend to? Maybe it's trying to show you that you've drifted too far from real connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Maybe it's calling your attention to the way you've been moving through your days like a ghost in your own life, checking the boxes, playing the roles, but feeling hollow inside. Maybe it's pointing out the ache where your community should be, the friends who see you, the conversations that nourish you, the spaces where you don't have to shrink or pretend. Or maybe quietly, tenderly, it's revealing the ways you've abandoned yourself, the way you silence your needs to keep the peace, the way you hide your pain behind a smile because it feels safer to be strong than to be seen, the way you tell yourself you're fine when deep down you're anything but. And maybe, just maybe, loneliness isn't here to shame you. Maybe it's here to wake you up, to remind you that you are human, that your need for love, for presence, for warmth is not weakness. It's your birthright. It's what makes you real. So the next time loneliness comes, don't push it away too quickly. Sit with it. Listen. Let it speak. It might just be the part of you that still believes you are worthy of more, trying to lead you home. If you are in a season of loneliness right now, please be gentle with yourself, not in a cliché way, not in a self-care tips kind of way, but in the way you would hold a friend who's quietly breaking in front of you. This ache you are feeling, it's not weakness, it's not failure, it's not something you caused by not being positive enough, or strong enough, or independent enough. You are not broken for wanting someone to hold your hand when the nights feel too long. You are not needy for wishing someone would ask how you're really doing and stay to hear the answer. It's okay to long for closeness. It's okay to miss being seen, touched, known. It's okay to cry in the shower, to scroll through your contacts and feel too afraid to reach out, to look around a crowded room and still feel invisible. This season may feel like it's stretching endlessly, but it won't last forever. You don't need to leap into connection. You don't need to fix it all today. Just breathe. And when you are ready, only when you are ready, take one small, brave step towards someone. A text, a smile, hey, I could use some company. That's enough. You are enough. Even in your loneliness. Especially in it. Even though it feels like you are the only one carrying this heaviness, you are not. I know it feels that way, like everyone else got the manual for how to be loved, how to be alone, how to feel at ease in their own skin, and somehow you missed the memo. But you are not alone, not even close. Right now, this very second, millions of hearts are quietly aching alongside yours. Someone is sitting in a cafe, stirring their coffee just to look occupied, hoping no one notices how alone they feel. Someone is lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, silently begging their phone to light up with any message that says, "I'm thinking of you." Someone is scrolling through endless photos, wondering why everyone else seems to be laughing, celebrating, living, while they are just existing. We are all out here pretending a little, hurting quietly, wishing someone, anyone would say, "Hey, I see you. You are not the only one. You never were, and you never will be." Even in your silence, you are in the company of countless others who get it. You are part of a story so many of us are still learning how to tell. After you've sat with your loneliness, really sat with it, let it ache in your chest. Let it whisper all the truths you've been trying not to hear. You might feel something shift, not a sudden fix, not a magic cure, but a quiet urge to reach out, not because you're falling apart, but because you're finally being honest with yourself and with the world. You don't have to fake a smile. You don't have to say "I'm good" when you're clearly not. You can call someone you trust and say the words most of us are too scared to say. "I've been feeling really alone. Can we just talk?" You can show up, shaky and unsure, to a class or a group where you don't know anyone, simply because your heart needs something different than this silence. You can volunteer, not because you have it all together, but because sometimes the act of showing up for someone else helps you remember that you still matter too. Connection doesn't have to look perfect. It rarely does. It's not always deep conversations under moonlight. Sometimes it's a tired joke at the grocery store, or a stranger holding the door, or someone remembering your name. And in those tiny, fragile moments, you might feel it, a flicker of warmth, a reminder that even here, even now, you are not invisible. You are still human. You still belong. So today, just for a moment, I invite you to pause. No rushing, no fixing, just stop. Close your eyes, take a breath, and feel it, the quiet weight inside you, that ache, that loneliness you keep trying to outrun. Let it be here, let it speak. Maybe it's trying to tell you that you are tired of pretending, tired of being strong when all you want is to be held, tired of smiling through the silence. So breathe, and remember, you are still worthy of love, of softness, of being seen just as you are, messy, honest, beautifully human. You don't have to do something huge. You don't have to be brave all at once. When you are ready, gently, slowly, take one small step. Call someone who feels safe. Go sit in a cafe, not to escape the loneliness, but to let it sit beside you with the hum of life around you. Or simply, if nothing else, place a hand on your chest and feel the warmth of your own presence. Whisper it to yourself like a prayer. I'm here. I am still here. And I am enough. You always were. And if all you can do today is that, just be here, breathing, heart still beating, that is enough. Because healing doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it comes in the smallest act of staying. Staying with yourself. Staying with the ache. Staying long enough to hear the voice beneath the pain whisper. You have not been forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too much, and you are not enough. You are loved, even now, especially now. So let the world keep spinning. Let others rush and pretend. You will choose something braver. To feel, to listen, to stay soft. And in that softness, you begin to come home to yourself. Loneliness may visit, but it will not define you. You are not alone. You never were, and you never will be. If this video resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, you are never as alone as you think.